Hey, and welcome to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast. Today we are diving into a topic that so many people struggle with, and that's emotional eating. So if you have ever found yourself reaching for snacks when you are stressed, bored, or sad, or if food has ever felt like your go-to comfort, this episode is for you. And if you are first new listener, my name is Turo. I'm a fitness nutritional coach, and I have been helping people with their fitness and health journey for the past decade. And especially, I love working with people who have struggled with emotional eating, as so many of people are struggling with. I used to struggle with it. I still sometimes partly struggle, especially with the boredom eating, and this is also for me work in progress. It have improved drastically, but there is definitely still work to do, and as nobody's perfect, and that is my motto is also like that. I don't even aim to be perfect, that it's gone forever, but my goal is to improve every single day and see what I'm able to achieve with hard training, hard work, and when you are willing to try new different things. And hopefully in this episode, these tactics and strategies, what I'm going to tell you, are going to help you. So in this episode, we are especially going to talk that why we emotionally eat and why it's not just about willpower, because so many people think that I just need willpower, I just need to stop it, and then it's gone for good. And so willpower, that is never solution, and you will learn what to do instead than relying your willpower. And the second thing is that the real reason diets don't fix emotional eating. So if you think that you need to lose weight first, and then you are addressing those underlying issues like emotional eating, you are doing it wrong. And you will also learn how to recognize your triggers and rewire your habits. And I'm going to tell 6 practical strategies to stop emotional eating, including a fascinating approach called the one choice challenge, what I have never talked before. So grab a coffee, go for a walk, or just relax and let's dive in. So first, why do we turn to food for comfort? So let's start with that big question. And why do we eat when we are not hungry? So most of us, food is more than just fuel. So it's how we celebrate. Think about like birthdays, holidays, family gatherings, and it's also how we cope. If you had a long day, you are eating always chocolate. If you had a breakup, it's going to be ice cream. So, and it's also how we numb feelings we don't want to face. So it's a way to suppress your uncomfortable feelings. And the thing is, this isn't a discipline issue. But most people think that I just need more willpower. But emotional eating isn't about willpower, it's about emotions. Our brains are wired to seek comfort, and food is one of the fastest ways to feel good. So if you have been caught in the cycle of stress, eat, guilt, repeat, I want you to know you are not broke. You are a human. So, but here's the good news. You can break this cycle, and I'm going to show you how. So, let's talk a little bit the myth of just stop eating junk food. So that is where most people go wrong. So most people think that if I'll just stop eating junk food and be more disciplined, but that's like telling an anxious person just to calm down. It doesn't work. So why it doesn't work? Because emotional eating is often driven by two different things. It's number one is emotions. So think all emotions you might have faced. Most common ones are stress, loneliness, boredom, or anxiety. And number two is restriction. So you are cutting out food, feeling deprived, and then you are binging later. So this is why diets don't fix emotional eating. So if your only strategy is just don't eat it, you are missing the real issue. As I hear so many people, I tell that I just need to stop eating chocolate. I just, whatever your comfort food is, I just need to stop eating it. And that might work, obviously, if you have a willpower and you have tried to use this willpower method for a longer time. You are probably able to do it for a certain period of times. It depends on your amount of willpower. It might be couple days, couple hours, couple weeks, maybe even in the best cases, couple months. But that solution is not forever. And why is that? Because willpower, if you think there is a certain amount of willpower you have every single day. So if you have ever seen like how like most successful people who have to make like thousands of decisions every single day and important decisions, why they are wearing, for example, almost always like, okay, it's mostly men, but at least men, they wear always same clothes. I'm also one of them. Like I don't use my willpower to decide what clothes I'm wearing. But for example, my wife, she loves it. She spends hours to decide what she's wearing, what kind of clothes she's gonna have each day, and it makes her fun, and that's totally fine. But if you think that why you have certain amount of willpower, if you have to make all the time those difficult decisions, what you are eating, what you are wearing, then you don't have any more willpower when it comes to food, and that is why it's not that restriction. And if you tell that just that I rely on my willpower, I just can't have it. So willpower system doesn't fix emotional eating, and that's why I'm going to give you some other strategies to fix your emotional eating without relying on your willpower. So step number one is always where I love to start is identifying your emotional eating triggers. So this is where I love to get started. Like and you have to understand your triggers. So next time when you find yourself reaching for food when you are not hungry, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What happened today that's making me want this? If this hunger or is this something else? Because one of my favorite tool is food and mood journal. So it's not it's a different. It's not the tracking your food or tracking your calories, but to track why you eat. So just for 1 week, I don't. You always these kind of challenges. If it's tracking food, tracking your emotions, don't. This is not. This doesn't mean that you have to do it the rest of your life. It's just mostly it helps even if you do it only for a couple days. So what I recommend for you is just for 1 week, every time when you emotionally eat, write down what you were feeling beforehand. So I will guarantee that you will start to see some patterns. So maybe you eat when you are stressed. Maybe you eat when you are bored at night or at weekend. Maybe you eat because you skipped lunch and now you are ravenous. And once you understand why it happens, you can start making real changes. Then step number 2 is the one choice challenge, a game changer for food freedom. So let's talk about that method that can rewire your relationship with food. So this is a method what I haven't taught. I actually learned it from other coach, my good friend Jared Hamilton, who was actually in my podcast also, and he has his own podcast episode, and I learned it from him. I gotta say, so this made me think Jared is amazing coach, and providing, so check him out. I think Real Hamilton is his IG handle, so make sure you check him out. But this is uh, one of his lessons what I learned from him, and because most people are stuck in the emotional eating, they do one of these two things. Is number one, either you feel out of control around certain foods, so they avoid them completely, or number two, they try to eat them in moderation but end up binging. So you get caught into that kind of pinch restrict cycle. So either you try to say that I never eat that, then you remove all that food what you are usually binging, and then you are of course, what even the ultimate goal is to bring those foods back in moderation, but that has never worked, because if you soon as you have that your to go binge food or emotional eating food or comfort food at home, you are not able to. Once you get started, you can't stop yourself, you can't control yourself, and you can't have that kind of uh, moderation, what is the ultimate goal. So this strategy is exactly for you if you have been trying to do these two things. So here's how that one choice challenge works. So step number 1 is that you are going to remove those binge foods from your home temporarily. And now you might be thinking that you just said that I have already tried it. And of course, it works when I don't have access to that food, and that's the thing. But that is step number 1, and this is not as a restriction, but to reset your environment. So then step number 2, where it comes when we are starting to bring that food back, and step number 2 is that every day for 30-45 days, you must go to store and buy one single serving of that food. So just one. It could be a mini bag of chips, small cookie, a piece of chocolate. And you step number 3 is that you bring it at home, you eat it mindfully, and you while you are eating it, you don't have any distractions, you are not rushing, you don't have any guilt. And step number 4 is that you have to do it for a month. So why this is so important? So first of all, a little bit about that, you have to bring it to home. So you are not allowed to eat it in a car or on a way home or right after you have bought it. But when you bring it home, enjoy it. Your brain is starting to think that, oh man, she's eating a cookie. We are going to eat the whole package. Wait, she didn't eat the whole thing. I thought she was addicted and uncontrolled. And you can't, but as you see, that you can't binge on things what's not in your house, so you can't fail. And but your subconscious mind doesn't know the whole package isn't there to binge on. So it's the old story. Once I start, I can't stop. May have new evidence that so it's not true. So your brain start to realize that, wait, I can actually eat this without losing control. And what is then happening? You are proving that you have control. And over this time, this breaks that binge restrict cycle and teaches you how to coexist with your trigger foods. So this is important. Go to think remove everything what is your comfort food that you don't have it. Your job is to go to store, buy single portion it, bring it home, eat it at home, and do it for 30 days. Even the days that you don't want it, you don't feel like it, but it just rewires your brain and your subconscious mind that you are in control. You are able to do it, and there is nothing wrong with you. So you are starting to develop new habits for your brain. And this is one of the best things I have I have learned. And this is a strategy what could actually help you to overcome that food freedom. So then step number three is the boss strategy. So that you stop emotional eating in the moment when it feels that it's happening. So it's a simple but very powerful trick, and also one of my favorite strategies. So next time you are about to emotionally eat, pause for 5 minutes. So you are never going to tell to yourself that I'm not going to eat, but you are going to say that I just delayed for 5 minutes and check in with yourself after 5 minutes. And if you can, what I love to use is to set a timer, like a visible timer. You can use your phone, you can watch some other watch, but set it for exactly 5 minutes. And when that 5 minutes have passed, you make another decision. If either you are going to eat it or either you are not going to eat it. So there is no right, there is no wrong decision. It's just pausing that decision, because more often than not, it won't work. I guarantee it won't work every single time. But if it works, let's say 1 out of 10, it's a progress. It's a step forward. And that's a very powerful powerful trick. And in those 5 minutes, you can ask that, am I actually hungry or am I feeling something else? You can also write those if you are thinking that, oh, I might be hungry, I'm not quite sure. You could write that your journal, what you are actually feeling. Did you have a hard day at work? Was there your boss was screaming to you? How is your kids? What is going on with your kids? Was there some emotion? Am I bored? Am I anxious? So whatever you might be feeling, just write it down. And then next question, what you can ask yourself, that what do I really need right now? And even you eat it, that's totally okay. And but maybe you start to realize that you actually need a sleep, you actually need a walk, or you just actually need a call a friend, or that tiny pause is the first step of to breaking that kind of autopilot reaction. What is often is that we are suppressing those uncomfortable feelings, and a great start is to start it with the 5 minutes. And then step number 5 is to replace emotional eating with new coping mechanisms. So here is the truth, that you can't just stop emotional eating. You have to replace it. And some powerful alternatives are that you are going for a walk. So movement, usually it helps to regulate your emotions. Other option is to writing a journal. So get your thoughts out of your brain before eating. Uh, Third option is to call a friend. So you are having actually emotional connection, not food. So you can talk about those emotions for somebody else. Step number 4 would be that you are drinking glass of water, waiting for 10 minutes, because many people are actually, if you are hungry or thirsty, it's very difficult to actually recognize if you are thirsty or if you are hungry. And then fifth tip is to practice deep breathing. And deep breathing is something that I love to use it for my athletes and everything, because it's kind of that you tell to your nervous system that it's you are in a calm place. And for athletes, for example, after a hard workout, it's a sign for your body that you can start to recover. And how you can do it, deep breathing, it's very simple. It can take just some quiet place for 2 minutes. Just try to close everything. You can listen some relaxing music or something, but just try to be in a as quiet place as possible that you don't have distractions. You try to, like, your mind is most likely trying to go into all kind of different places, but try to focus only for your breathing. And that's for simply as this to start with the 2 minutes. You can keep going for 5 if you are able to, but at least for 2 minutes, just take a deep breath through your nose, 3 to 4 seconds, like deep breathe, and then calmly 6 to 8 seconds breathe out through your nose, and just focus on your breathing. So these habits are easy, and make them as easy as eating food. So keep your journal on table, have water bottle nearby, make it effortless so that it doesn't feel like that. Oh, it's so much easier to grab that food, but it's just that it's everywhere that you are ready. You have those new ways to, when you start to have that urge, have that feeling that you are doing it. And don't get me wrong, I know that it will still happen. It will happen most likely at some point that you are just eating without even noticing. You are kind of in that autopilot. You are driving from home, and before you even realize that you have something in your mouth, or you are eating something, and then you recognize it only after. So this will most likely still happen, and that's totally fine. But it says that when you remember, when you know that your next time is your next chance, and it's the goal is never to be perfect, it's just to improve. And if you remember to use these strategies, what I'm talking here, it's not about that you every single time that you are going to use one of them, but just maybe pick 1, 2 things and try to remember to do it as often as possible, as this is all practicing. It's all about rewiring your brain. And what I recommend is that you start that one challenge, one snack challenge that you are going to for supermarket, and do it for 30 days. So you kind of get that feeling that you are in control. And then last step is to stop feeling guilty about emotional eating. So I want to wrap this up with something important. You don't need to feel guilty if you emotionally eat sometimes. So food is part of life. It's meant to be enjoyed. And the goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. So if you emotionally eat once in a while, that's okay. If you binge less than before, that's progress. If you are becoming more mindful, you are winning. So small changes, they add up over time. And this is the hardest thing, like that for most people, that we are so hard on ourselves that we are not, like, you don't remember that you were able to actually improve something. If you say that last 10 out of 10 situations you were eating emotionally, and now you have made what is amazing progress. You have made amazing progress. Now 3 out of 10 you are not eating for emotions. So you are finding some other solution, other coping mechanism. And that is amazing progress. The amazing progress is not perfection, that you will 10 times out of 10, you will never eat emotionally. Progress is that you start with the 3 times. Maybe you keep doing that. You remember to do it 3 out of 10. Then maybe next month you are able to do it 4 out of 10. Next month it's 5 out of 10. So it's all the time becoming a little bit less. And that is a progress. And never forget that, because most of us, like myself, I'm kind of perfectionist myself too. But when you start to understand that it's all about progress, all about those small steps, and you should be actually happy and make yourself proud of those wins, but and not those kind of setbacks or things when it went as before. And this is the same thing when I talk with my clients about workouts. So it's like, I'm also kind of person that if I set a goal to work out 3 times a week and I'm able to work out 2 times, and I'm not happy that I did 2 times. I'm more pissed off for myself that I missed that one workout. So this is the hardest part, to be kind for ourselves when the goal is to actually improve, get something better. So if it's that's why, like, setting those kind of goals, like I talk now about workouts a little bit because it's so easy to relate. But when you are deciding, like I decided every Sunday for the next week, I look my schedule, how many times I'm going to do it, and I set the goal how many times I'm going to get started. And it doesn't, I never set the goal that I have to finish everything. Even that is, of course, it's ultimate goal, but it's what is the simplest, easiest step. And if the week is looking like really busy, then I say that, okay, this week, realistically, it's 1 time or it's 2 times, especially with the strength training, what I naturally don't enjoy. So it could be 2 times, it could be 1 time, it could be 5 minute session, it could be 10 minutes, one exercise. It doesn't matter, because consistency beats that perfection every single time, and that you are keeping your promises, what you make to yourself. So hopefully with these emotional eating triggers and strategies, you are able to start using at least one of these strategies for the next week. And like I said, first step is that understanding when it happens, why it happens, what are your triggers. And once you know that, you become more aware, and then you can start to implement those other strategies we talk about. Start keeping journal, mood journal, take a goal, do it for 7 days. And I hope this episode gave you some new perspective on emotional eating. And if this resonates with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. DM me in my Instagram at personal trainer _Turo and tell me what's your biggest struggle with emotional eating. And if you find this helpful, do me a favor, subscribe, share it with one friend who you know that is also struggling, who this episode could be helpful. And of course, those reviews, I can't stop episode without reminding how important and thanking for all those who have left written review. They are helping so much so more people can find it and find this podcast. So thank you for listening, and talk to you soon. Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast.